What's up, everybody? Alphiks here, and welcome to the first video of this channel reboot. It's been 2 years since I last uploaded a video. Incidentally, it was a video on Dead Cells, but it was without commentary, and that was, apart from the little reboot trailer that I made, that was the last video that I uploaded up until a few days ago. And I think what better way to kick off this reboot, this rebirth for the channel, than with one of my favorite games of recent years, Dead Cells. I played this game a ton back in early access, like 2 years ago in the summer of 2017. And I have nearly 100 hours in the game. However, I haven't played it in a while, at least not religiously. I played it a little bit, just getting ready for the recording, getting back used to the gameplay and testing out audio levels. But actually religiously playing the game and getting into it, I haven't done that in a long time. And there have been a lot of updates, new content added since the last time I came even close to beating it, and I am super excited to share my journey through the game with all of you guys. As you can see, I have a save file already, which I played a lot, nearly 200 runs in fact, lots of things unlocked, but we'll get to that eventually, because I'm going to definitely start a new save file right here, active save, and I think we're going to talk more about the game as we play, but to start off, I think let's just jump into it. Prisoner's quarters. The prison is directly connected to the outer yard. The prisoners can choose between the rats and the crows. And we are this little goop. This is us. This is who we'll be playing as for the duration of our journey, now however long it lasts. Looks like I had a bad time with it. Sure does. Here we got our weapon, the rusty sword, 119 damage per second. We cannot sell it. We also have the prisoner's collar, which does nothing but the fact that it's on us. Yep, we had a bad time. This is, yep, we can drop down by holding down on the D-pad or on the left stick and pressing A. We can open doors, but we could also roll through them. We have a double jump. Here we have. Aren't you the headless fellow that's been getting around? ... What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Ah, yes, that's right, no tongue. Anyway, it must be strange to be back from the dead. I mean, surely you must have noticed? You can no longer die. I don't really understand it, but you're not the first to find yourself in this situation, if that's what you want to know. Shrug. There's a lot of charm that this game has with the character, and we'll be seeing a lot more of that as we get along. Yes, I should be on ways. Here we get our introduction to a beginner's bow, 100 DPS, cannot be sold, and a wooden shield. We have a choice between the bow and the shield as our secondary weapon, so to speak. And I've had a lot of success with shields. So in the past, I've had success with shields in the past. So let's start with the shield. Show off the parry. Great stuff. And this is our first area. This is the prisoner's quarters. We have the zombies. We can parry. And the archers, which you can just roll through their bows. That was a slam. Oh, here we go. Here we have our first instance. Bad parry. This is our first instance of a blueprint. Blueprints are what we will eventually use to unlock more weapons, more items in general. And we'll get to that soon enough. But the infantry bow is one of my favorites. I'll talk about more about it when we unlock it and get to use it. For now, we are just getting through the combat. That was terrible. We had our first taste of a grenadier, and I'm in a bad spot here. But we had our first taste of a grenadier. Those are the pinkish purple guys. These guys, they shoot bombs that explode after a few seconds. We're getting some nice money drops. That's good early. I saw that. See, this right here is a secret in the wall, and you can get things like gems for money or food to heal. Nutcracker. Now this used to be a very bad weapon back in the day when I played, but it has been buffed. It's much better, easier to get critical hits. There are a lot more conditions that allow it to be really good. So yes, we're going to say goodbye to our rusty sword and replace it with the Nutcracker. And look at, oh, here we go. Blood Sword, another blueprint. Now, the bulk of the early game, oh, before we get to that, here's our first chest. They have any random item. Firebrands, we could use them to replace the shield, but I'll say no to that. I think I'll keep the shield because it's useful in, it's very useful often. Now here, we have an instance of something, this goop. This will do something later, but we cannot use that right now. Now that's where we're introduced to one of the elements this game is built on. This game, Dead Cells, is a roguelike metroidvania. Now, we'll encounter the roguelike elements eventually. The Vania comes from Castlevania. A lot of that is in the combat. It's very, very good, by the way. But the Vania, or the Metroid part, comes from us being able to get abilities that we will get later as we progress, which will allow us to access more areas and get more content as we play. Now, by the way, we back there, back here, we picked up a scroll. Scrolls, we have three types of scrolls: brutality, brutality, tactics, and health. They're red, purple, and green. I chose green because we have two weapons that get boosted the more green scrolls of power you have. And the more, right in the bottom left corner, you see the 112. That means how many points we have in each category. So we only had one scroll of power. I put it in green to power up our Nutcracker and shield. And that's that for now. They also increase your maximum health on the run. Here we have an instance of a shop. I think I'll stick with what I've got, thank you. As we progress. Now here is a scroll. I'll just pay for it. Again, we'll get green. Now, the more scrolls you have in each category, the less health you're going to get. So, for example, for green scrolls, you start out by getting a plus 70% max health, and then now we got 41% on the next one, and it's going to be less and less, which incentivizes, if you want health, you put some more scrolls into other categories. If you want more just raw damage, you focus on one category. Here we have a little spot. There's something hidden here. And here's Turkey. It restores 50% of your health. We're at 75% right now. Prisoner scratched some words on the wall. Why? filling the prison within us. The message is unfinished. Yeah, so here, these little rooms, they give us lore behind what happened in this place, in the first place. And you can also get goodies like food and gold. Now, on the topic of food, if you go to options, this game gives you a nice little option where you can set the food you are going to be getting. And this is all just cosmetics, but you can be like carnivore. Which you give a drumstick for 50%. Vegetarian, fruitarian, monster. Now, the baguette setting, it's interesting because the developers, Motion Twin, they're a French studio, so they have a little option where you can eat French food. However, I'm just going to stick to Castlevania-esque food. We have a turkey. Oh, let's just use it. And here we have the Promenade of the Condemned. If you press select, you can see the map, and there's something that we have not explored yet. So here's our first usage of the teleporter. Teleporter's extremely convenient way of getting around the map quicker. Oh, that's right, never mind. Never mind, that was dumb. Forgot we can't go there just yet. So that's the first area done. Here we have the first door to the Promenade of the Condemned. Passage to the Promenade of the Condemned. Even heroes need to rest sometimes. Now here we have some doors. We are going to try and use them later. This door, you need to finish the first area in 2 minutes or less to get access. And for this door, we need to kill 30 enemies without taking any damage. And they give you some nice bonuses if you can manage to swing those. Here we have. Well, look who it is. I'm the Collector, and I'm about the closest thing you'll find to decent company around here. Bring me the cells you gather from the others. In exchange, I'll procure a few useful little items for you. Should you stumble upon a blueprint, bring it to me and I will introduce you to some more experimental items. Here we have one of the main mechanics of the game, one of the main roguelike mechanics of the game. Where we turn in cells to the Collector. Also where the name Dead Cells comes from. We collect cells, we turn them in to get general bonuses that will last for the remainder of the save file, and we unlock different weapons that will aid us in our future runs. I say future runs because yes, it's a roguelike. When you die, you get back to the start, you lose everything you had, and you go again. Now this is teaching us we cannot unlock anything, so as it's locked. So let's just put in 5 cells to get our first health flask, which means we can heal once. That's very Dark Soulsy, if you think about that. Now here we can unlock the blood sword, or start putting cells into the infantry bow, or we can start leveling. Now, gold preserves up to 3,000 gold when you die. Yeah, these are general permanent upgrades. As I said, they aid you throughout the rest of the save file. And this can boost your start of runs. Like if you die and you're left with extra money, it can help get some shops early on. Or we can just start unlocking weapons. I think let's start by just unlocking things. We will unlock the blood sword. Now, as the name suggests, and in the description, when you hit enemies with it, you cause them to give them a bleed effect, which does 9 damage for 6 seconds. Every second, 9 damage. And we'll put our last cell in gold reserves. Here we have the blood sword. Now, this doesn't really work well with what we currently have, because I did put faith into the Nutcracker, but we unlocked it. Let's use it. Here we have another mechanic, the mutation mechanic. You put in a mutation, you get maximum 3 mutations, you get one for free after each area, and they give you different bonuses. Now, I think I'll start... I'll get... Blind Faith reduces the cooldown on your... We don't have any skills yet, but hopefully we get them soon. Reduces the cooldown... When we parry a shot, we reduce the cooldown of our skills by 2.7 seconds. Sure. Let's do that. Here, if we had any damage or an empty flask, we could use this to refill our health and the flask, but we don't because we're full health. So, Promenade of the Condemned. It's never a good sign being sent to the yard. Few return. When they do, they're never quite the same. With a nice little image of a hanging body. Achievement. I love the Serenity. Reach the Promenade of the Condemned for the very first time. Now this area is very beautiful. Now, one thing that I will talk about for a long time going forward is the score. This game's music is phenomenal. It's one of the best things about the game. One of my favorite soundtracks. No, this is dicey. Oiled Sword Blueprint? Okay. The soundtrack in this game is one of my all-time favorite soundtracks in any game ever. It's epic, it's beautiful, and I love it to bits. Those dual wielding blades enemies. Here, there's a thing we need a rune for. Yes, I did just accidentally spoil what we'll be using to access other areas. We can't do that yet. Yeah, that's an elevator, but I like just dropping through it. It's fun. Let's show off. You can knock back projectiles with shields. Not terribly useful often, but that's a double parry with one. Very nice. Yeah, shields are very good if you're patient enough. And they've served me well on many a run in the past. I didn't mean to take damage there. Ah! That's traps. Traps are a prominent feature of the game, and you have to use platforming to survive. Here, nothing tempting. And let's just use the teleporter, go back up. See, the map right here shows there's a scroll of power down below in a different area. Whoa, dodged. I would love to get a skill, by the way. I don't think they had them introduced to us. There is a training... Here we have introduced to our first training dummy. It makes every enemy in the area, in the vicinity, immune. And this absolutely, you have to destroy that first. Or you will have issues, to say the least. Yeah, we can't get up there. I'm too used to being able to climb up walls. I don't know why I didn't block that. Anyway. Yeah, when the enemies show the exclamation marks above their heads, that's when you press Y, use the shield, have a good time. I'm trying. Yeah, you can also interrupt the enemies in the middle of their attacks and stun them that way. Gives you a bit of an opening. Here's the scroll of power we saw on the map. And let's get some max health. Let's put in brutality. Powers up our blood sword. This is another thing that we can't use yet. We will get that in the future. And yeah, we can't do that yet. Again, so the game ends the levels sooner. Wait, no, never mind. Let's enter this because that's the only thing we can do. There's a banner here with a skull. It's kind of scary. We drop down, and here we have an elite fight. Elite Archer. It's very easy, just roll around him. And here we have Unknown Artifact. Pick it up. And we unlocked the Vine Rune. This permanent rune causes climbing vines to grow. And yep, it's permanent. That's what this was. It's our first artifact, it's our first rune. Our first Metroid element that will allow us to reach new heights, climb new vines, and just get to do more things. Now the game is telling us to heal, but I'm going to wait a little longer. I'm not going to die. As I said, that thing is really annoying. The phase shift phaser. We unlocked Spartan Sandals. That's exactly what you might think it is. Well, but I'm not gonna unlock that right away. We cannot get up there yet. Stun him. Beautiful. Here we cannot. We have, as you might expect, you do get a wall jumping rune eventually that will allow us to get whatever's up there. Here we have our first instance of a dual scroll. We don't get to choose between all three stats. We choose what the game gives us, and I'll just power up the brutality. Here we have ball and chains. They are not very friendly. You might expect if you get hit, they pack a punch. I almost just landed on the spikes. Here we have a chest. Let's see what we have. It's another nutcracker. Critical hits deal 30% damage. Cannot be interrupted by an enemy's attack. It's level 3 as opposed to level 2. Does more damage. Here we have Goodbye Blood Sword. And that's it for this area. We go up, back up. The teleporters are a great feature of this game. Here we have, okay, here's our first instance of a choice of item. We can either get a multiple Nox bow, which would replace our shield, or an ice grenade. Now ice is very good. Ice is a status effect, obviously it freezes enemies. It can't freeze bosses, it can only slow them down, but for dealing with enemies, it's one of the absolute best stats. It freezes, and if they fall, they break. Plus, it does synergize with our Nutcracker because it does critical hits on frozen targets. The only problem is the ice grenade has a very long cooldown. What's that? 18 seconds on the cooldown. But we will power that up. We freeze. And critical hit destroys. Oh. And I think we're closing in to the end. Now there's another area down here. Okay, here's another thing we cannot do just yet. We also need the wall climbing. Now beware, you can get damaged by elevators if they land on top of you. There's no secrets. Here's possibly a secret area. Yeah, hello. Oh, hello. We got just an infantry grenade. This is a brutality skill. Inflicts 93 damage on a very short cooldown, 4 seconds cooldown. Quick to use but not super powerful, and it poisons the enemy. Yeah, every item, every weapon has extra modifiers on them, which can give you some really strong combos if you know what you're doing. A whole collection of insects, carefully classified and lined up in nice straight rows, and classified by type, and by size, ... and in alphabetical order. The person who worked in this office was certainly thorough. Research notebook. All the species found in this area seem changed. Was it insects who spread the malaise all over the island? Ooh, ominous messages, ominous malaise is ominous. Oh god, that was a fall from from up high. Yeah, he's poisoned. Please, and get dusted. Let's freeze him, smash him, and down we go. This is spicy. It's a spicy area, but we can deal with it. Ow. Ooh. Oh no. He's phasing. Okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and heal. Better be safe than sorry. Freeze him. Smash him. Statue. A statue of the king of the island. How could he see anything without a helmet on? I don't know, dude. I don't know. Magic. It's like wrestlers with luchadors with masks that seemingly cover up their entire face, but have tiny holes in them, and they see through. Or like Spider-Man. How does Spider-Man see? I don't know. He does have a spider sense, though, I guess. Now here, we cannot go through here, so we are forced to take the elevator. And this is the end of the Promenade of the Condemned. And we head to the ramparts. Passage to the ramparts. Could the Malays spare this part of the island? Now you have to get here in 8 minutes to get that door. And 60 enemies without taking damage to get that door. We're back! Well. Look who's here. We talked to the collector. We have a bunch more weapons or blueprints to be able to unlock. Now here, the Spartan sandals. They are on a pretty obvious reference to Sparta and the movie 300. The little flavor text down there has, "This is Dead Cells!" Knocks back enemies, dealing damage where they land. Deals 119 extra damage if the enemy hits a wall. The final strike in the combo will knock back any enemy. And the oil sword. This is very good if you have anything that enables fire. It douses the enemy with an I think it says inflammable oil. I think that is a mistake in the translation and it still hasn't been fixed. It should be flammable oil. Inflict critical hits during 10 seconds after hitting an enemy on fire. And the infantry bow that I did not explain yet. It inflicts a critical hit at close range. And it's designed for hand-to-hand combat. But for now, I think I'll get the gold reserves. We have 19 cells left. I'll start putting them in the infantry bow because it's really good, and I want it unlocked as soon as possible. Mutations. Since we don't have a very big flask, I'll get necromancy. It does not much XP because it's only 1/4% of HP. Excuse me, when an enemy dies. But it does build up in the long run. With our health flask refilled, we take the elevator up and start ramparts. Ramparts. To keep things exciting, the guards sometimes threw condemned prisoners from the ramparts. There's definitely nothing worse than the screams of someone who knows they're headed for the edge. Yeah, that's gotta be terrifying. Personally, I'm not afraid of heights. But if I was in a life or death situation about to fall to my death, I would be pretty worried. Oh, that just locked. Oh no! We have elite encounter, but thankfully it's just a zombie. He does get stronger when he gets past 50% health, but that's pretty simple. We got a lot of cells, and this is the newest artifact. It's the customization rune. Now this was introduced in the Pimp My Run update, which allows you to, as the name suggests, customize your own runs when you start. Really tailor them to your liking. But we might dabble that in the future, but definitely not in the near future. for now, we're just going to play the game normally. Get through. Now, for someone who has just started and this would be their first ever run, they'd probably be dead before getting to this place, to be perfectly honest. But if they first get to this area, it's a bit of a difficulty spike, definitely. But for me, it shouldn't be much of an issue. Here we have another dual scroll. We'll put it in brutality to power up our infantry grenade. Launch it. He's poisoned. Now, interesting how a zombie can get extra poison. You'd think they'd be immune, but nope, they're not. Now, the music again, I'll say it again. I'll let you listen to this tune for a bit. Also, why didn't I take the teleporter? But yeah, the music, the soundtrack gives you it's an epic feel that you're on this. That was a terrible dodge. Now, you might be wondering how I made it through there. There's a hole down here. It's not super obvious, but it's there. Now, that's a newer. The thing that that launches. The thing that launches the flames on the ground, that is a new enemy. Or a newer enemy that I haven't really had much chance to play around with. But it's there. Now, I mean, there you have, there are no match. Oh, hello, another blueprint, the double crossbow-matic. That is a skill. It's a trap that you place down, and it shoots left and right. Now, another enemy that we did not mention that's also new is the Inquisitor. They're those tall guys with the white robes that shoot purple projectiles, and they ignore walls. So be on the lookout for those. Be wary of them. Here, Wolf Trap. It's a 14-second cooldown, and it throws traps that immobilize enemies. Now this does work with the Nutcracker, because it also does crits on immobilized enemies. And it's much higher level than the infantry grenade. So I think I'll replace it. Also, it benefits from us having a lot of survival scrolls. If 5 points in that. Well, and I'm just gonna show off different skills and weapons since it's early on. Roll through, stun them, they're immobilized. And we get another, that's a blueprint, but not for an item, but for a mutation. Which is, we have our mutations down there. The parry and the vampirism. Yeah, you unlock mutations as well as items through blueprints. But I think we are progressing fairly nicely here. Not making any record time or anything, but we're still safe. Oh, I thought I had mistimed the parry for a second. Oh, got it. That was the Inquisitor right there. Drop down, there's absolutely nothing here. I think there was an area down below that we skipped. Yeah, down here. Slap him. Here we have another enemy, these, yeah, you cannot roll through that. You have to jump. And the range on that is actually insane. They are very tricky to deal with. Yeah, that's that's a bit frustrating. And then there's the That's a bit too much damage for my liking. It's a nice soundtrack, as I'll keep saying it, but it's very mysterious, so to speak. And he just fell off. Now, as you might expect, looking at the landscape of this area, Spartan sandals come in very handy. And we collect another scroll. Honestly, this, if we pick up brutality, it doesn't benefit us on any of our weapons. So let's just get extra health, 50% HP. Let's do that. Another area down here, freeze, smash them, immobilize, destroy. Get out of there. There's a rune here. Here's our first instance of a challenge rift. We are going to do that as soon as I clear out some of these enemies. Let's enter the challenge rift. Boo! So you stumbled through a rift, eh? Yes, I have. Oh, but you'd like to take these little beauties with you now, wouldn't you? Yeah, mate. Well, if you do decide to take them, getting out won't be anything like getting in. Good luck. We open up this chest. That's a lot of nice rewards. Let's use it to raise our HP. And here we have our first golden amulet. That's what replaces our amulets, replace our collars, replace our prisoner's collar spot. We get minus 5% damage received, plus 1 on any of the 3 stats, and then other bonuses in the modifiers. This one poisons enemies that wound you. Decent. And you collect golden cells over an unlimited distance, so we can go much faster, also not missing out on any goodies. And this is what challenge rooms are all about. They used to be, back when the game... Oh god. Oh no, this is not going to go well, is it? Back when the game was first released, challenges were all just kill a certain amount of enemies without getting hit and getting to the end. Ah! Now they're parkour challenges with lots and lots of traps. So you better be on your absolute A game so you don't get accidentally trap murdered. And you see, there's some tricky stuff here. But we make it through, and we get some nice rewards for that. For our troubles, an extra scroll, and an amulet. Definitely worth it. If so, don't be afraid to do it. If you see that, let's put more survival. Freeze. I'm going to have to try and freeze those guys as soon as possible, or immobilize the crit. Yeah, that works. Stun the shield basher. One shot. We have so much, so many stats in green in survivability that we do a lot of damage to weaker guys. Like the archers die in one hit, not even a critical. Shop, tonic, sinew slicer. This is only tactics, so we're not on that build. I'm not going to spend money on any of these. And there's another wall jumping place that we cannot do anything with yet. We go now. Unfortunately, the only teleporter is all the way back up, so we cannot teleport from the depths back to the top. We have to climb all the way up, and then we progress. Let's move on. Why with the ramparts? Freeze, smash. Definitely a fun weapon. It really feels like you're like the feeling on the impact is amazing. You just get that smash. And this, I'm pretty sure as we just slam down. Yep, this is the end of the ramparts. I'm pretty sure we cleared them out. Didn't need to check the map. Passage to the Black Bridge. Mutations are precious tools. Choose carefully. We didn't get that. Collector. We have 49 cells to give. We're just one short of the second level health flask. That would have been great to get just before what's coming up. You'll see very shortly. Let's unlock the infantry bow. Though I think I'll stick with the shield for what we have coming up. And let's also unlock Gold Reserves 2. So we save 6,000 gold when on death, and put the last 3 cells in the crossbow-matic. So maybe that's a good one though. It's level 4. It inflicts a critical hit at close range, obviously, but its critical hits have extra damage. But wooden shields absorb damage. No, I'll stick with the bow. I'll take the bow. Yeah. Yep. No regrets. I'll take the bow. And here, as we have a bow, we have this mutation. Our last mutation, by the way. So I think I'll choose ammo, as we get double ammo for infantry bow. We go up to 8 shots, because normally the infantry bow has 4 shots. We go up to 8, and we go to the Black Bridge. Getting past the prison walls was a major achievement. Crossing the bridge was something else. Finally, a moment of rest. Seems peaceful enough. The wind blowing in our non-existent hair. I approach the crows. Oh, hello! It's the first boss fight! That concierge! Let's trap him to crit. Now he's going to... not good. Freeze. Let's pop some shots. That's tricky. Trapped. I'm not critting. Oh. While he's immobilized, take advantage with the Nutcracker. While he's frozen, take the advantage with the Nutcracker. We're chunking him down. Very nice with the infantry bow. Now, that shield, you need, I haven't been doing a good job at it, but you have to stay away from him when he's got the shield up. Freeze. Jump over that. I did not mean to roll. And we're going to... yeah. That's it. Concierge has been defeated. The Fat and Furious. And as you may expect, you get a lot of money for doing that. And also a bunch of items. We can choose between the electric whip. Spoilers, it's not very good. I'm not gonna take it. Unknown artifact. This unlocks the Challenger's Rune. This permanent rune provides access to daily challenges. Yes, once you kill the concierge for the first time, you get the Challenger's Rune and you get access to daily challenges. We'll look at them later. You also get some unlocks by beating them, and as we'll look at them later. Some money. This flint. I don't think I ever actually unlocked this when I played the game normally. I think it's a newer item. And Sinew Slicer, we had already passed that up. I'm not taking it. Now, there's a catch with bosses. If you flawless them, which means you beat them without taking any damage, you will get a legendary item, which is really, really powerful. and that's a great incentive to beat a boss without taking any damage. I failed this time. Hopefully we don't in the future. Here's what you door. If you beat the boss in 15 minutes, well, if you get to this place in under 15 minutes, you get the boot bonus. Now here we're introduced. Hey, short stuff. You made it this far alive, eh? Well, you know what I mean. I'm the blacksmith. I work with the collector next door. So if you got cells, I can improve your gear. Here is the legendary forge. You get access to it only after bosses. You invest cells, and you increase the drop rate of higher quality items, like plus quality. We get higher qualities in the future. We'll probably look at that later. I'm looking at... For now, I think we should just focus on getting permanent upgrades on different things. Spartan sandals are not the be-all end-all. Crossbow-matic. We'll get it when we are on a tactics run, I think. For now, let's just start working on our second level health flask. See, we have our 3 mutations. We skip past this pile of corpses. Funny, they look a little like me. Oh, yeah, that's so that looks very smelly, which is the smell very fitting for what we're about to enter next. There's an area we cannot access. Again, we need the wall climbing, but here, the Stilt Village, and prepare, because this is one of my favorite areas in the entire game. It was a lovely village in the old days, before everything there was intent on devouring you. My only wish to catch a fish. I'm just going to leave you with the music, because this is one of my favorite tracks in the game, bar none. Now, as you might have noticed from my gameplay there, if the previous few areas were not enough of a difficulty spike, this definitely is. There are a lot of new enemies, certainly tough, and it's a scary place. Especially these cannon guys. You want to freeze them. Shields definitely help. And maybe going for the infantry bow was not the smartest choice. Yeah, the cannon guys are very, very powerful. As we get the village key. Oh my goodness, I am getting destroyed! I need to heal. That was very, very bad. Wait, no, that's a chest. Shit. Okay, just fall. Ah! Very nice. Two birds with one nutcracker. Thank you, hidden food. Yeah, finding the secrets in the wall can be very beneficial. Not just for money, but also for just straight up health. I think I'm just going to shell out and buy the turkey. We had the money, and I was in desperate need of health. I would be very open to getting a shield right about now, honestly. It would help greatly against these guys, and their build in terms of stats does not lend itself super well to the infantry bow. Throwing knives. Now, these green spear guys that launch their own like babies at you. They used to be different. You actually used to just they were there. They acted like zombies, but dropped their children when they were dead. Now they launch them at you until you kill them. So now those were kamikaze flies. They, as you may have picked up, they do a lot of damage if they catch you. So definitely be careful of that. I need some health, and I also need some more brutality for the infantry bow. Let's do that. Surprise, boys! Well, I need to get around there. I'm trying to just juke around. There is way too many of these. Surprise, brother. Oh my god. Let's go. That's heart-wrenching. Nothing on survival. Not a fan. But I'm also not an AC unit. Hey. AC units are tight. Though. Dodge behind. He's stunned. Into the chest room. Wait until it turns around. Immobilized. Get him. I definitely need to play a bit more methodically in this place. Some tight dodges. Tactical freezes. Oh, he turns around mid-attack. Do I want to? This is our first encounter with the cursed treasure. This gives you curse, and I think I'll give it the beans. I'll be bold. Wolf trap 5++. This gives you money. It gives you a scroll of power, and a very good strong item. Unfortunately, this one has a plus on... Well, it has plus stats on even anything, so it's better than what we have. It is better than what we have. Yeah, absolutely. From Curse Chest, you get colorless... excuse me. You get colorless items. They get stats based on your absolute highest stats. So we got... It's basically green. And it also gives us an extra scroll because it's a plus level item. You get plus, and S. Once they get plus, they get an extra point, which is very beneficial. Now we're cursed for the first time in the series. In episode 1, we were already cursed. This means we have that number over our head looming. We cannot take damage. If we take damage, we are dead until we kill 10 enemies. It's scary, let me tell you. And with these enemies, it's even extra scary. However, if we can play this smart, which I haven't been doing. I fell from a great height and got stunned, and I got attacked. Well, safe to say that didn't go to plan, but we are met by this lady that met us at the start. Back already? Seems like you've been having a rough time of it. No. That was actually a pretty good first run. Have you noticed how things seem to change each time you pass through? One could get to thinking that the island is alive. It's quite ridiculous, wouldn't you say? Dead Man's Bag, this is where we collect our gold. We are capped at 6,000 from before. But I think that was good enough for a first episode. If you enjoyed, click the like button. Subscribe so you don't miss any more videos, so you don't miss a video, don't miss an upload. I have 3 videos daily. And thanks for watching. See you next time, and stay metal!